Hello again, everybody. Welcome back. HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the state of New Mexico. We've got another one of these great, sort of super cheap pieces of land down in the southern part of the state. This is an acre and a half of land for $1,400 that we have in the Deming Ranchettes subdivision in Luna County. I really like this subdivision, and I like this specific property because I think it's got a lot of great amenities, features that you guys are going to like as well. So let's get to it. This is reference number LNM-0008F, like Foxtrot. Again, it's located in Luna County in the Deming Ranchettes subdivision. This is an acre and a half of land, and this acre and a half is a combination of 3 adjacent half-acre lots. And as we saw up top, we're pricing this at $1,400. So, as with all of our listing pages, come back down here, click any one of these GPS coordinates. It's going to bring the property up on a map, show you exactly where it's at. So, these specific 3 lots are right here, starting along Dolce Road. They extend out this way. Basically, one of them is a corner lot here with County Road B043 southeast, but they all sort of run the length of Dolce. If we go to map view, you're not going to see a plat overlay. You're not going to see anything that shows you where the lots sort of begin and end. So what I would recommend is come back to our listing page here, scroll down, and you can look at our Google Earth overlay. This will give you an excellent sense of the general size, shape, and location of this piece of real estate. Okay. Anyway, let's come back to the map to show you where this is in relation to other things here. So as anyone who has watched my my Deming Ranchettes videos in the past knows, first let's just talk about the county. Luna County is this little boxy county down here in the southern part of the state. Southern portion of it borders the U.S.-Mexico border right here, and the northern portion is just north of the I-10. And what I outlined here is roughly where the county sort of begins and ends on the west and east sides. Anywho, Deming up here in the top is the county seat. This is where you'll find the greatest concentration of population, as you can see here. Because of this, you've got a number of amenities up here. You've got a Walmart supercenter, you've got an airport, countless, shopping, dining, medical, schools, churches, so on and so forth. One of the nice things about this subdivision, I'll go through these quickly because I think I've exhausted this in previous videos. Number one is you've got power all throughout the sub. The sub is pretty much most of the county itself. It extends down here in the south, all of this region. This is Deming Ranchettes. It covers all of this region over here, basically about halfway down east of the Goose Egg, and pretty much the entirety west of the Goose Egg is Deming Ranchettes. It even intrudes a little bit into this Rockhound State Park, Florida Mountains area. You can see this kind of cut out here. This too are the Deming Ranchettes subdivision. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so one of the things that's nice about this is that you've got power really all throughout the subdivision, if not on every road, certainly every other road. You don't see that a lot in places like this. You would expect that all the development would be up here, and then the further south, east, west you go, the less of it you'll see. That, in fact, is not the case. If you just zoom in on what looks to be a pretty rural area like this down here, you're going to see that you've got people living out here, you've got family farms out here, a number of little residences, things like that. So, while certainly the biggest concentration of population is up here in the north, it doesn't completely die off after you get past this point. There's people living out here, there's power throughout the region, and another nice thing is that all the roads are very well maintained out here. They're not necessarily all paved, but it's such an arid climate out there that there's not a lot that grows over on those roads. So whether the county is actively maintaining them or actively maintaining certain ones, either way, you can pretty much traverse the entirety of the subdivision in any vehicle type. So all the properties that we sell out here all have really good access. You don't just need a big truck or a four-wheel drive to get out to them. Now, the big thing that I really like about the subdivision is that this is one of these rare areas in New Mexico where the developers did it right. They chopped everything up into half-acre lots, but they sold them 2 at a time. So pretty much everybody out here, whether they're first generation, second generation, third generation owner, they've all got a minimum of 1 acre of land. Now, why is this important? In quote-unquote undeveloped parts of New Mexico, which is to say areas not serviced by city utilities, if they don't have water lines, if they don't have sewer lines, it's considered undeveloped. In areas like that, the conventional wisdom is that you need 3/4 of an acre to build. That's not entirely true, but if you want a conventional well and conventional septic system, you're going to need at least that much. There's a lot of parts of New Mexico where the developers chopped everything up into 1/4 and half-acre lots. And then in the 70s, when New Mexico came up with this sort of uniform zoning law, where you needed that 3/4 threshold, made a lot of those pieces of land exponentially less valuable, number one, because you couldn't build on it. So out here, where everything is a minimum of 1 acre. That is one of the reasons why you see so much development, not just here in the heart of the city where there are these utilities, but even out here and down here and over here. Zoom into any part of this map on your free time, and what you're going to see is what I described, which is that you'll see home sites out here, little family farms, people living out here, etc., etc. So it's not desolate. Anywhere you go within here, you're going to have neighbors pretty close by. So what that means is in years to come, I would anticipate that there will be continued development throughout this region. It's never going to get stymied like certain subdivisions that you see in other parts of the state. Blah, blah, blah. With all that said, let's talk about property specifics. So, as noted, this property's out here along Dolce Road Southeast. What you can see is if you zoom in here is you've got power lines going all along the northern end of the property. Additionally, there are power lines out here on Dolce servicing this home. In fact, if we go to the photo gallery, you can see, number one, the roads that I was talking about, how easily traversed they can be. Number two, you can see this nice house here in the background. This is basically right across from the subject property, and these are the power lines running up and down Dolce. Additionally, you can get a sense of what the property, what the terrain, and what the surroundings are like. Very nice flat piece of land, a little bit grassy, I guess, but very easy to build on. This is not the kind of property where you're going to have to come in and excavate or spend $10,000 sort of grading the land. Not too rocky, not too sloping, not too hilly, so on and so forth. Additionally, you'll notice right here, I can't attest to what exactly this is servicing, but there seem to be underground utilities within the region, within this specific part of the subdivision. Now, again, it doesn't look like there's many homes on that street, so I don't know what these underground utilities would be servicing, but the potential exists out there if that's something that you want to research on your own. And of course, here are the aforementioned power lines. When you have something like this on the property, like you do with these 3 lots, of course, it makes it a lot easier, a lot more affordable to hook up to the grid out there. So whatever you're going to park or build on the land, it's going to become a lot cheaper to get power going to it. And of course, one of the really nice things that you can see with these photos is that you've got these beautiful picturesque views all around. Pretty much all of the Deming Ranchettes subdivision surrounds the Florida mountains. So really any piece of land you buy out there, you've got these beautiful views of the mountains. Additionally, it should be noted, hang on guys, if we pull back a little bit, you're going to see that this property sits in very close proximity to Rockhound State Park. Additionally, it's got easy access right here up to the 549. 549 is sort of a major arterial that runs the length east-west of the county, and will put you into Deming proper very quickly. So supply and grocery runs are never too far away from this property. In fact, let's just measure distance right here. Out here to Deming proper, about 10 miles as the crow flies, probably about a 10-minute drive along this road right here. Into town. And of course, as noted out here, you've got Walmarts, you've got, all sorts of things that you could possibly want out here. So, and I should also mention that being as this close to the I-10, there's probably an entrance to the I-10 up here somewhere, if not right over here, certainly right up here. So, never too difficult to hop on over to the state highway and get anywhere you're going within southern New Mexico. Blah, blah, blah. With all that said, I just want to point out a couple things here on the listing page that you guys should be aware of if this is a property that you're thinking seriously about purchasing. Number one, up here under covenants and restrictions, we have PDF. This is going to link you to this document. These are the covenants and restrictions that govern this area. Now, Deming Ranchettes has roughly, let's say, 200 units of land out there. This specific property sits in Unit 105. There's probably about 200 of these out there. Each one of these, when they were subdivided, they created rules for owners of the land to abide by. These are not too strict. These are not too onerous. These are all pretty obvious things. Most of them have to do with nuisance things like how you dispose of trash or rubbish or noise and so on and so forth. Whatever the case, this section right here, Section 5, is going to pertain the most to whatever it is that you're going to want to do with this land. Within Unit 105, there are numerous blocks, and each of these blocks has different specifications. This block within Unit 105 falls under the single-family dwelling designation, the R1 designation. So if you read through these, it'll give you a sense of what covenants run with the land. There's very little in here that you need to be aware of as far as, as I said, restrictions. One thing that is notable here is that it asks for, demands that whatever is built on the property has at least a minimum square footage of 600 square feet, excuse me. So for those of you who are looking for places in New Mexico where you can build tiny homes, this may be a place that you can do that depending on your definition of tiny. Now, of course, As with all the properties that we sell, we always recommend, if you've got very specific plans about I want to build X, Y, and Z on the property, particularly if it's anything other than a single-family residence, we always recommend calling County Planning and Zoning. Down here we have a link to their website, as well as phone number, relevant contact information. Additionally, we also have some contact information down here that can help you with research. P&M is the local utility company that services this region. You can reach out to them and ask them, I'm looking to buy some property in Deming Ranchettes. It's vacant land, but you guys have got power lines running across it. How difficult and or expensive is it going to be for me to hook up to the grid out there? They can better answer your questions about that. And then, of course, right here we've got the Office of the New Mexico State Engineer. These are the people who are responsible for water permits and well rights. If you want to get a well drilled on the property, you know, my guess, whenever I look at an area like this, I mean, when you see this many people living out here, that makes me think, and a family farm over here, that makes me think that the water table is, you know, pretty accessible. You're not going to have to drill too far. It's not going to be too expensive to install a well. I assume most of the people who are operating out here have wells on their properties. So if that's something that you want to investigate, and I'd highly recommend it, reach out to the Office of the State Engineer. It's going to bring up their website right here. And you can talk to them about, you know, what exactly you need to get permitted out there, number one, and number two, what you should know about the water table. Additionally, you can call vendors in the local area who drill wells. Elbrock Drilling is one that services that sort of tri-county region down there. And they can probably talk to you better about what is the water table depth within that region and what's it going to cost to drill a well down there. Blah, blah, blah. So we have a lot of helpful links. I would also point out that the Rockhound State Park, this state park that's very close to the subject property, if you click this link, it'll bring up their website. And here you can read more about all the sort of camping, hiking trails that are available out there for you. Obviously, when you're in this close proximity of something like that, it's an excellent recreation opportunity. One more thing I just want to mention about this property, which I've sort of neglected to this far into the video, is that it's got a corner lot right here. This is very valuable. Everybody kind of likes having a corner lot. Of course, it extends out this way. We always recommend with these properties, you know, a good thing you can do with one of these properties, particularly when you're buying more than 1 acre, is you can always sell off the other half-an-acre property, make a little bit of money off it that way. Additionally, you know, lots that you buy this cheap are always great investment properties because they're only going to increase in value over time. Additionally, we have a lot of people who buy properties from us who go on to resell them almost immediately, and that's certainly something you can do with a property that's in this price range. It's very difficult to lose money on a $1,400 purchase of land. This is something that you could very easily resell, put an ad on Craigslist, you know, $500 down, $100 a month type of thing. Sell it on terms for $3,000 total, or maybe you say, you know, $2,500 cash discount. Something like that. Anyway, point is, this property has a lot of great features to offer, and whether you're going to live on it, whether you're going to use it as an investment property, buy and flip, buy and hold, a lot of opportunity awaits within this land. So, with all that said, if this is something that you're interested in buying, come here, click the Buy Now button. It's going to bring up this checkout page. We ask for a couple pieces of information. What name or names do you want on the deed? Where's the treasurer going to send the yearly bill to? So on and so forth. Agree to the terms of service, click Next, and on the very next page, we're going to ask you for credit or debit card information. You put down the $1,400 plus the $150 doc prep fee, $1,550 total, and we're going to deed this property into your name. Now, as soon as you give us the money, as far as we are concerned, the property is yours to do with as you please. Go out there, begin camping, you know, building, whatever you want to do. That being said, it's going to be about 3 weeks from start to finish until you have a copy of the recorded deed in your hand. Within 24 hours of purchase, we're going to draw it up. We're going to email it to you. Once you approve it, we autograph, notarize, and mail off to the county. County records it, then they forward it on to you. So there's a little bit of you know, sending things in the mail and things getting sent back in the mail and so on and so forth. So I like to tell my buyers that about 3 weeks you'll have it in your hand. But again, once you've given us the money, we're the current owner. As far as we're concerned, you are the new owner. All right, guys, with all that said, thanks for watching the video, and we will see you in the next one.